This is Mrs. Tessa as a party here, and I made a post on my personal Facebook page yesterday inspired by a time hop that came up for me yesterday. When I bought my first house, I did not bring anything to closing, and by that I mean I did not bring a penny. I didn't have to go to the bank and get a check or anything to bring to closing. Nothing. My closing costs were completely covered. And I'm going to tell you how that happened. Keep in mind that I was in a program called the First Home Club when I purchased my house. And that is how my closing costs were covered. This is a program that is still out there. It's still available. If you're in the Western New York area, I can tell you what banks currently are participants in this program. And I can also give you a link, which I will have somewhere below this video or attached to this video, so that you can check it out for yourself. This program is a bit restrictive in terms of who qualifies to participate in it or take advantage of it. So don't get discouraged though, because there are other great loan options and programs and grants out there that can help you even if you don't qualify for this program. And I know about a lot of those, so if you want any information on those, message me or comment below or something. So I posted yesterday about how I paid nothing at closing, and of course, completely reasonable. A lot of people seemed very shocked and seemed like they didn't believe me. So I actually pulled out my paperwork for when I closed on my house, and I looked through it all just to make sure that I wasn't crazy and that I wasn't making it up. And I wasn't. It's true. I paid nothing at closing. So I actually, did have to put some money into my purchase when I bought my house. So I don't want to give the wrong idea that I just bought a house for free. That's not true. But I did manage to buy a house with a very little investment up front. And I will tell you the things that I did have to pay for. The earnest money deposit and the home inspection, the appraisal, and that was it. That was about it. Yeah. So my earnest money deposit was not very much at all. It was equivalent to, say, if you are renting an apartment and they want you to put a security deposit down as well as first month's rent, that is more or less what my earnest money deposit was. My home inspection was about $250. Nowadays, they're running about $350, maybe a little bit more. It just depends on who you go with and how thorough your inspection is. Always get a home inspection, though. Even if you know for sure 100% that you're going to buy the house, always get a home inspection because they are so incredibly informative, and it's a really important thing to do. And also, a buyer typically pays for the appraisal. So I did, and I actually paid for the appraisal with a credit card. So that wasn't even money out of my pocket at the time. It was money out of my future pocket. So my upfront investment when I bought my house was somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,000. And that was, that's not a lot. That's really not a lot. I think people have this idea that you have to put like $10,000 down up front. And yes, if you're paying your closing costs, you're going to be up around $10,000 or more. But the First Home Club is an excellent program. And the way that it works, I'll give you a little overview, is that you apply to be in the program, and there are income limits, and I think that's the most restrictive piece of criteria that they use to kind of keep the program a little more exclusive. So you do have to fit within a certain income limit, which was no problem for me at the time. I was 22 and just starting out in the workforce. And there are a few other things too. They're going to check your credit. They're going to check, they're going to verify your income, that you're employed and all of that. But that's all to be expected. And then the way that it works, once you are approved to be in the program, is that you will open up a designated savings account with whatever bank that you happen to be going through for this program. And like I said, I can tell you which banks those are in the area. And what you'll do is contribute a certain amount of money into that savings account every single month. And it can be any day of the month, which is really wonderful because you aren't tied down to just one day. It's whenever you have it that month, you can put the money into the savings account. I was a little crazy. I always opted to put the money in on the very first day of every single month. But you don't have to do that. And the total amount that you'll have to put in the savings account is $1,875, somewhere around there. It's $1,800 and something dollars. They will match $4 for every $1 you put in that account. So in the end, you end up with a $7,500 grant from the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York, and that is what you will use to put towards your down payment and your closing costs. So when I bought my house, like I said before, I made my earnest money deposit and my home inspection, and I paid for my appraisal. That was it. The $1,875 that I had put into my First Home Club savings account over the course of 10 months, that also helped me out with closing, and then the $7,500 topped it off. So I paid nothing at closing because that grant covered everything, in addition to the $1,875 that I had put in the account. The great thing about this program is that you don't have to put that money in the account within 10 months like I did. I just chose 10 months because that was the minimum amount of months that they would allow you to contribute to that savings account. You can stretch it out to up to 2 years, which is fabulous because that ends up being so little. I didn't do the math, but it ends up being so little a month. I was putting about $180 a month into the savings account in order to get up to that maximum of $1,875. So that is how I paid nothing at closing. This is an absolutely phenomenal program. I don't know why more people don't do it. I typically recommend it to all of my buyers. And if they're able to do it, then that's great. I have worked with a few buyers who have gone through the program. It's just absolutely, it's fantastic. So if you are interested in more information about this, I will post a link below so that you can take a gander at it yourself. But if you have any questions about what it's like to go through the program, or if you have any general home buying or home selling questions, I'm here for you. So thanks for watching, and I hope this was informative.